Greetings, wrestling fans. This is Tim Hott coming to you from what's left of the 3RW Control Center. Hard to avoid the elephant in the room. This past summer, I got to live a dream when I got called upon to be a commentator for Three Rivers Wrestling, and frankly, as summer faded to fall, that dream turned into a nightmare. I made a comment at the end of the taping in the summer that the Devil's Advocates winning the tag team titles meant some bad things were potentially upon us, and little did I know how right I was. That comment got cut out. I was talked to about that at the time, and then we got to November 13th at the Bishop Donahue Gymnasium, where the announcement was made by Big Boss Glenn Spector, BC Steel, and Robert Parker Williams to let us know that they had purchased outright 3RW. And unfortunately, a series of events happened. For whatever reason, QB Blitz was not on hand for his scheduled tag title match. I have not heard from QB since. And right as Julian Jay was about to get a win over Remy LeVay, my equipment went out. And because my equipment went out, we didn't have a YouTube show. And I have to tell you, it was one of the thrills of my life to have 16 weeks of me bringing some of the best wrestling action from the region to you via YouTube each week. And it broke my heart to not be able to do that after such a stellar show at 325 Logan Street in McMechen, West Virginia on November 13th. But also because that equipment went out and there was no show and there was no commentary, I didn't get paid. And as the Devil's Advocates, in all of their revelry, went out afterward to celebrate with Ponch and the Chrysogis brothers, I took the long, cold drive home trying to figure out where I was going to come up with the money to pay my mortgage for the month, and ended up having to pawn most of what you're used to seeing here as a part of the 3RW Control Center. Worse than that, in telling the story to my employer, learned that I was violating a policy where I was not permitted to have outside employment, and I was terminated. So as much as I planned on discontinuing my association with 3RW after the events of that night, which were beyond my control and most likely nefarious at best, with BC Steel sitting next to me, I know these guys. I've known these guys for 20 years. I've fallen upon hard times, and I was 2 years old when the Dusty Rhodes promo came out about hard times, and I probably didn't discover it until I was in college and thought I understood it maybe right after college looking for my first job, but I never really understood it till now. So February 12th, cold as ice, and believe me, the blood that runs through the veins of Glenn Spector, Robert Parker Williams, and BC Steel is exactly that, cold as ice. They've made conditions that the premier players have to win a total of 4 matches. They won their first against the Runway. So, you know, there's silver lining there. February 12th, the Bishop Donahue Gymnasium, 325 Logan Street in McMechen, West Virginia. 3RW returns, and it's time for me to look at all of this with a little bit of optimism. I need this gig. I need this money. I will be there. And I know that some of my friends are going to be there. I know that Zeke Mercer is going to be there. Zeke Mercer will be challenging Troy Lords for the #1 contendership for the intercity title, which should be an amazing match. Mike McGowan's going to be there. Julian Jay is going to be there. Daron, Smythe, and Bennett, the premier players, looking to go through this gauntlet, this hurdle that's been put in front of them to come back to the 3RW Tag Team Championships. They're going to be there. Colossal Mike Law makes his return, good friend, intercity champion. And our world champion, Jason Tyler, is going to be there. So I have some faith that some way, somehow, the Devil's Advocates are going to get theirs. So I encourage you to join us February 12th, 325 Logan Street, Bishop Donahue Gymnasium in McMechen, West Virginia. 3RW presents Cold as Ice.